Breaking news. Nurse Hannah arrested yesterday. TikToker Anthony Black.
Glad to have you, amazing viewer. This is Comfort for Life educational channel. If you're new here, I share a collection of TikTok videos for educational purposes. We are here to educate ourselves on the things that are happening in our society. And in today's video, we'll be looking into the arrest of Nurse Hannah. I highlight the word Nurse Hannah, and we will be looking into her lifestyle, and because that the kind of content that she's been sharing on the internet. And they say people do controversial content to attract viewers, and yeah, so that they can attract comments from people. But then this was lifestyle content. Wasn't just some kind of content that she was creating. This is content, this is lifestyle, this is her cooking, this is her feeding the child, this is them, you know, this is the couple showing how they live. So many people believe that, I realize that so many people believe that just this one video in the store that could have led to her arrest, or this particular video. But there is more to that, because this is the person who has been sharing her lifestyle together with the husband, raising their son, and right now she's pregnant. Let's look deep into this. What can we learn from this? The internet doesn't forget, they say, and it is so true, because these videos have been deleted from her original account, but they had already spread it everywhere. As you know, TikTok, you can do it, you can do all kind of stuff with videos that are just on the internet, they're just on the platform. So videos are out there. With her controversial lifestyle, she went on to say that she got 17 diapers laying around the house, because she doesn't have anywhere to dispose the diapers. She doesn't use anything, she just throw them anywhere in the house. You can see some are on the coffee table, some are just on the floor, some, like, she's now collecting everything so that she can throw them, she can dispose them. So just note that she's a nurse and she knows that what she's doing is wrong. I don't want to judge her, but we're just looking, we're analyzing from what we are seeing. And she's a nurse, yes, and she's collecting the diapers all around the house. Just remember, there's also another clip where she talked of not giving his child a diaper change just for peeing. So all those diapers right there could be having poops. So anyway, let's dive into this video. We'll be listening to different people's reaction to this, and also you're welcome to share.
My husband spent $1,500 on hunting supplies.
Yet a $35 jacket from Walmart is too much of an expense for you to pay to keep your child warm in the winter? What are you on?
It feels like 8 degrees. And we're venturing out of the house with 2 kids because I am stupid. This is how cold the car is. This is literally rock freaking solid. It turned winter in like 0.2 days, and this kid doesn't have a big jacket, so I need to find him a big jacket. I'm sorry, but I can't spend $35 on a toddler jacket. I know he needs one on. You
could have bought your kid like 40 coats at that price point for the money your husband spent on hunting supplies, which is completely non-essential. And putting aside, I can't believe I'm saying this, but putting aside the potential trauma response people have observed in your child, what I think I hate the most about this is that a lot of her content is like focused on what she's doing basically as a single mother because of her husband's laziness. Because I absolutely despise this 1950s-esque hands-off fathering from these pathetic men and any woman who in their content normalizes that behavior, because your partner should be just that, a partner.
Imagine this. You go out to eat with your toddler who's starving, and when the food comes, you eat it in front of him. While he's trying to get food, you flick his hand away.
We got a lobster roll, a fried shrimp roll. Fever, I typically like to run. I mean, my husband encourages me to run, but for us, in fact, my husband and I went to Vegas on our honeymoon in 2020. There's so many places.
My husband never cooks dinner, and when I say never, I mean never.
Obviously, Hannah does this all the time if this is left in her videos. Obviously, she's so used to living this way that she saw that in her video when she was editing, and she thought that them flicking their child's hand away was okay, when obviously It's not. You can just tell in his eyes that he was just sad in a lot of those videos. So, like, is someone gonna do something about this? I think something is probably wrong if everyone is noticing this. If other moms, other dads are noticing that this little boy is not okay. Like, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't even flick my child's hand away from food, not even as a joke, because I would never want them to think that I'm, like, holding them or stopping them from eating. So, like, the whole video, every video I've watched, it's just crazy and it's sad. That just shows you that this probably happens a lot to this poor baby, and I wonder what we didn't see that she did edit out. Another thing, I'm not trying to spread any hate. I'm a girl's girl, but I've seen a lot of videos on my For You page about this, and once I started looking into who Hannah was, I truly felt bad. I'm a mama 3, so my heart hurts. I think that all of the mama community, our hearts are aching for this little boy. What she thought was a simple vlog or day out eating was really showing how she treats her kids, and it's sad. I also do want to say one thing. I really had no idea who Hannah was before all of this drama, so she might be a really good mom, she might be a really good person, but the couple videos that I watched, which was like over 5, I was like, my heart was aching the whole time.
17 diaper lady, Nurse Hannah was one of my best friends growing up for years. At one point was like my best friend. Like, we hung out together all the time. It's actually crazy to think about. Like, and I see a lot of people like kind of defending her or like justifying certain things because of finances. And I just want to put it out there that she comes from a very wealthy family. Her dad is a very successful doctor who even operated on my brother's foot when he broke it. So I just want to throw that out there. Like, huge house, brand new installed pool at the time, and like full-blown basketball court in their backyard, a whole jungle gym, like set playground area, the huge garage with all the different toys, like one of those like really tall garages that you can fit like a motorhome bus like thing like on one side, and I would travel with them on that. And like they had so many different 4-wheelers and like all types of stuff. Pretty sure like everyone had their own car and everything. Like, they definitely like had a lot, you know, growing up. Like, they were like the rich kids, like, and her uncle even on her mom's side owns a Chick-fil-A, like, and I remember them like taking me to like parties and events, and like it was just insane amounts of like Chick-fil-A and like everything. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Like, as a kid, like, I have like a middle class like kind of family and stuff. Like, it was like mind-blowing to me. And like Chick-fil-A is very charitable, like, you know what I mean? Like, if there was really a situation like where they needed help, like, I'm sure her own uncle would help her. And also like the church, she's a part of the Mormon church, and the Mormon church is very charitable. Like, there are so many relief efforts if you're a member. Even if you're not, I'm pretty sure, but if you are a member, like, you can even get like grocery allowances, like you can get discounted groceries at like their bishop storehouses and stuff, and like you can also like even get help with like rent payments or like I think mortgage payments and stuff like that, like for a temporary period of time, like while you get back on your feet or whatever. Like, it's actually crazy. But she knows all of that for sure because her dad was a bishop, which bishops are the ones that make those like judgment calls for people in like their zone or like district or whatever of like church members and stuff. So she knows the resources that she has available. So like everyone that's like, oh, like you could like get a coat this way, like she knows. She definitely knows. I'm basically just like replaying every moment, every memory like that we had together, which is a lot. Like, every summer, like every Saturday, we would get up really early and go do private tennis lessons together at this other rich dude's house that was like in her neighborhood, like area that like where she lived, like where the really big houses were in the town I grew up in, or city or whatever. And then we would drive over to her house after and like swim for hours and hours and hours in her pool and like play hide and seek in her huge ass house. Like, and like we went to like girls camps every summer together, and we would share tents together. Like, she was always like my buddy, and like go on hikes together and everything. And like we went to a summer camp together where we stayed up in dorm rooms like out of state, and like we were roommates, and they were roommates, but like no, like literally guys, like this is insane. So anyways, I hope she gets the help that she needs. This is like very, very sad and disturbing. I've been like up literally all night like watching stuff. Like, I like can't stop. Like, I was just on my For You page and a news like thing came up, and I was like, is that Hannah? Like, what? And we kind of drifted apart in high school. Like, you know how high school is, and she was a year older than me. We kind of had different friend groups and, you know, different priorities and stuff. And I was a bit more rebellious, and she was very involved in church. And yeah, like, it's just like mind-blowing. And like after we had like gone to that summer camp together and we're roommates in the dorm room, we had like a couple different like fights and stuff that kind of like put a drift in us. But a big reason why I stopped hanging around her was because she was so negative and like she complained so much. And even my own mom had concerns because like I just like would kind of become more negative and like more of a complainer and like talk kind of nasty like after hanging out with her. And like I don't know, she always kind of struggled with that, and like she would say really mean things about people and stuff, and was like pretty judgmental and stuff. And like, oh, and like also the whole thing about like the 17 diapers and stuff, like I will say, like, as nice of like the house was that she grew up in, like how huge it was often very messy, and like so were their cars. And they had like a cleaner come like I think like once a week or whatever, but like it still wasn't enough because like the kids were just spoiled, respectfully. I'm so sorry, because like I actually thought her parents were nice people, but clearly you don't know anything from the outside.
Moms, what age do babies start to speak? I can't fall asleep because I'm thinking about this child. I haven't heard a single video in which this child has said a single word. Not mama, not dada, not anything. As far as I know, this kid is over 2 years old. So I went on Google. This one says at 6 months they start making sounds. By 2 years they can put together sentences. So why isn't this child speaking at all? So then I thought, okay, I need to know if abuse can cause a child to go nonverbal. The answer is yes, including fear of caregiver, startled responses, regression in developmental milestones. I haven't seen a single video in all the vlogs of them that I've gone through in which either Nurse Hannah or her husband sit down and interact with this child one-on-one. A video in which they're not making fun of him, giving him jalapeno as a baby to see how he reacts, putting him behind the stove. An actual video where they interact, he is constantly looking at them for eye contact, and he is just constantly ignored. Even when he's being fed, okay, there's stuff put on his plate, she's sitting there looking sideways, staring into space. There's no interaction, and you need that for a child's development. It's 4:36 a.m. and I cannot fall asleep because I'm thinking about this.
Somehow I ended up on Nurse Hannah TikTok. The first video I saw was she and her husband sitting in the front seat and the baby in the back seat, and they were eating some kind of pastry, and she gave him the tiniest piece possible and said that's going to be his lunch.
And the best part is that James, my toddler, was watching a show on my phone in the back seat, and he didn't even notice, and he didn't even ask for it. But I did feel bad, so I did give him a tiny little piece, because honestly, this will probably be his lunch. Because
I was like, lunch? Then I saw a video of the baby in a diaper, and you could see what appeared to be bruises underneath the diaper.
I'm not changing my kid's diaper when they pee. I've never done that. Do you know how expensive diapers are? I have friends and people that I know that like, oh, they peed, we have to change their diaper. And I'm like, they peed? Literally, I will change his diaper if he poops, or if it's like a very full diaper. Diapers are so freaking expensive. I'm not out here changing his diaper every time he pees.
She is capitalizing on people begging her, put a coat on the baby. He looks hungry. People were volunteering in the comments section to send her $35 for the coat. She left all of those comments unanswered because she needs you to keep engaging. Stop engaging with this woman. Report her. Do not reward her with money. You're cruel for the sake of content. You rage bait people who care about children, fellow moms, for $1. There is no amount of money in the world that will clear your conscience for what you're doing to that boy. If this sweet little boy grows up one day and goes no contact, don't you dare jump on this internet and ask us why.
She hates her kid. Being a mother is inconvenient to her. Everything he does frustrates her and it inconveniences her. Yesterday I made a video about Nurse Hannah and I said, if you can't afford to have children, don't have children. Because all the videos I saw, they were complaining about, oh, we're penny pinching, we're trying to save, we're trying to do this, because I thought they didn't have bread like that. But the more I fell into the wormhole of Nurse Hannah, that woman hates being a mother. Don't get it twisted. I still believe if you can't afford to have children, don't have them. I'm not saying poor people shouldn't have kids, but if you are struggling right now, don't add a kid to the equation. But everything that baby boy does to her annoys her, whether it's her having to buy him a new jacket, both the parents flicking his hand away when he's trying to get some of their food. But this is the same woman y'all got on here and defended for that 17 diapers trend. Don't think I forgot. I made a whole video saying that shit was just nasty. But no, it's postpartum. You would never understand. Y'all expected any better from a woman that allowed her child to live and be around that much filth to actually give a damn about him? It's crazy to think there's a lot of women out here who don't enjoy being mothers, yet they keep having more and more children.
She hates her kid.
When your toddler is sick with a fever, it's a whole other story. I would never say that I was grateful that James had a fever today, but honestly, it made the day a little bit easier because
no, fevers are kind of a big deal and you're a nurse. You should know that.
Also, this granola bar was the first thing that James had in like 12 hours.
That's not a flex. That's a problem.
That she's posting, you can sense the resentment she has towards her son. This is not an uncommon thing. Believe it or not, there are women out there that after they have a kid, especially after a year or two, they grow to resent their kid. They grow to hate their child. It's scary. But that's what she is. She doesn't like her kids. That's why she doesn't give him food that is good. She just feeds him so he's still alive. There's definitely some physical violence going on in that household, and to some degree, to some extent. Because the way he flinches at her, the bruises he gets on his face, his general just trying to keep himself small. He doesn't know how to make himself feel safe, so he's trying to figure things out on the fly because he doesn't know when the hurt's going to come, but it's going to come from somewhere. So, this Nurse Hannah thing, this is an example of people coming together and calling out the behavior. This little boy did not deserve any of this. That little boy was being a little boy. And a lot of us resonate with that little boy because the people who are resonating with it grew up in that household. I grew up in a household like that. I did. So I feel for that little boy. I know what it's like to be afraid of your own parents, especially as a young kid. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who to trust. And those things are going to stick with him for a long time. So, Nurse Hannah, if you watch this and you're seeing this, I know you hate your kid. And you can stop all of this. There are options for you. Because at this rate, with the way you're going, you are going to go to jail. Not only are you going to go to jail, but you're going to get your kid taken away too. That little boy deserves a loving household. And if you have a kid and you end up hating your kid, you got to figure some shit out. That's on you. That's not on your kid. Don't take your resentment at whatever change happens to your body or whatever change to your lifestyle happens or whatever thing that makes you mad about your kid. Just remember, that's your kid. All right? Your kid deserves to be loved. Your kid deserves to be fed. Your kid deserves to live in a household that's not full of fear, that's not full of anger, that's not full of hatred. Because at this, like I said, we can tell. We can tell. So, for those of you who support Nurse Hannah, shame on you. That's all. Just shame on you. You support her. You tell her she's doing a good job. You get fluffing her up and you're trying to validate her feelings. You're not helping that little boy. I understand little boys play. I understand little boys do things, right? I understand raising boys is very different to raising girls. We all know this. At the same time, at the basics, she has been eating large, glorious foods and sitting her kid right in front of the camera with nothing in front of him. So she can eat in front of him. And every time he tries to reach for something, tries to get some food, there's anger. There's fear there. So he just sat there and gave up. That broke me. I'm like, oh, hell no. So just remember, there's a lot of people that are very angry at Hannah, and rightfully so.
Well, good morning to everybody except for James, who felt the need to just full on touch the waffle iron this morning.
Why would you touch that?
Come here. Lately, we are just 100% in the stage of he has to learn the hard way, unfortunately.
update on Nurse Hannah. Not a crazy update, but at least it's the first one I've seen since the CPS said they were going to start investigating. She heard from Hannah's sister, and she has all the screenshots and text messages and all that stuff. The sister is getting James for a little while. Hannah agrees that she needs therapy, that this is all crazy. She said she's taking a break from it all. The sister also pointed out that it is mostly Braxton that is to blame for all of this. We'll see, I don't know. And that she needs to get away from him. But anyways, it's not a crazy update, but it's at least something, and we know that James is going to be going and staying with his aunt for a little while and hopefully get some peace and get loved on.
You know what? I actually decided that I do have more thoughts on Nurse Hannah. I actually saw part of her apology video. I don't think you can even call it that, because the whole video was just her saying that people are crazy and make something out of nothing. But one point of contention that she was talking about I thought was really, really ironic, and that was the criticism her husband was getting. The reason I find that ironic is because in her own edited content, all she does is call her husband awful. And of course, in this video, she's saying it's all satire, you guys. He's actually the most amazing, hands-on, helpful, loving partner. But she's trying to spin it like we are ridiculous for coming to the assumption that he's incompetent garbage, when she has literally built her brand on the fact that her husband is incompetent garbage. I really want to know what her goal was with content creation. Her entire brand seems to be controversial parenting. It's not new for people to notice that controversiality will get them views and therefore money on the internet. Typically, those people wind up having a really public downfall because, first of all, they're soiling their name across the internet that will last forever. But also because inevitably they're going to post something so controversial that they actually do wind up in a scenario like this, where people are literally calling Child Protective Services. And I know this is crazy, hear me out. If you even set aside all of the things with her son and the accusations being made there, and you just look at how she speaks about her husband, it's actually bonkers that she expects us to believe anything except the crap she told us. She knew it was controversial posting it. She called it satire herself. She knew that was the reaction that she would get. I'm not sure if she just thought she could shut it down anytime she wanted. Because if you didn't want people making comments, you just didn't have to become a vlogger at all. Literally every single piece of evidence, all the videos that people are clipping together, it is from Hannah's content that she posted of her own volition. What should really be the final nail in the coffin is that she does not understand what she is posting is that bad. Which means that her standard for what bad is and what it looks like is very, very different from the general population's, which confirms that in her brain, the things that we all think we objectively, collectively agree on are bad, like neglecting your child and refusing to give them food, very well could not be part of her moral repertoire. She completely set herself up to be in a position where she cannot defend herself now. Because literally all of the material that people are using is hers. And it just goes to show that you can have a child at 20 and it's not going to help you grow up any faster.
According to what I've watched, I couldn't have brought all her videos right here because there are too many on the internet right now on TikTok. So I really don't understand. How could someone know that what they're doing is wrong and that their child need one thing but they choose not to? Even right here in this clip, the child just wanted to just have that attachment with the mother, but she's trying to push him away, you know? Oh my goodness, you see, the child was trying to have that, like, no time, I have no business with you guys, I have no business, I'm exhausted. So I'm just here to just give my 2 cents. I feel like this lady wasn't ready to have a child first. Let's say, yes, the husband wasn't giving support and all those kind of stuff. But what I know, mothers who are ready to be mothers, they can do everything for their children. They can quit their jobs. They can do so many kind of things to just make their children comfortable. They can even divorce to make sure their children have their peace of mind. But I just feel like none of them Even the dad wasn't ready to have this boy. None of them was ready to have a child. So I don't know. For a while now, when I've been feeling so bad when I see people who will be on the internet boldly say that they don't want children. I feel like that's better than just having a child with whom you have no attachment. Because that kind of trauma that they're creating in this child's life, it will go a long way. It will take him a lifetime to even get to understand what love is, what affection is. And this is a boy child. This is a child who will have to love one day. I'm thinking, because I can't really have my mind settle, as that lady said, it's 4 a.m. and I'm not able to even sleep. It's been a while since I shared content, but when I saw this video, I said, this is the best place for me to start from, as I want to catch up. But this time, I really want to focus on families as I share my content. Before, it was about race, and but at some point I was feeling uncomfortable with such content. But I feel like sharing family content would be more comfortable with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel.
I am 38 weeks pregnant, and yesterday I worked all day long for 12 hours, and making dinner when I came home from work was the last thing I wanted to do. Also, my husband was an absolute doll and cleaned the entire house, and so I did not feel like having James go into the house and just wrecking it and destroying the whole house before he went to bed. For dinner tonight, I don't want to cook. I don't want him to make a mess at home, so that means we're going to McDonald's, we're eating McDonald's, and he's going to play in the playland. And honestly, when we go to McDonald's, we just use the app, so we can pretty much get it for pretty cheap. To feed our family of 3 tonight, I think we spent maybe like $8.
And I'm very beautiful smile that I wouldn't want to hide behind this camera. I appreciate you.